Hello, guys. Sorry, my internet went out, so I'm back. I had to restart a new stream, but I wanted to come in and tell y'all, hey again. We're going to go into the medical examiner on this case. Gary Wayne Sutton has been on death row now for over 30 years. He claims that he is innocent, and the medical examiner, I believe, was a really important part that played in. Hello, Mama, how are you? I was already live and then my internet just shut off. So I don't know what happened, but it went off and I couldn't get it back. So I had to create a new one. But thank you for coming in, Mama. Thank you. Hello, Carolyn. Thank you. Thank you for coming in, honey. You're welcome. I don't know what's wrong with my internet and stuff, but man, I swear, I've been on vacation and I think I forgot how to use a laptop. Anyways, guys, this is a man's life. Someone who has been sitting in prison on death row for 32 or more years now. And Carolyn can correct me because she knows all about this case. She is the one that reached out to me, and I got some of my friends involved, and we are going to get the word out. The more and more you look at the things that happened in this case, you would just be, wow, amazed. Things that weren't done correctly. Memo, is he guilty? From the way I see things, and I have to say everything in my opinion because I'm not law enforcement. You know, sometimes we have good law enforcement, sometimes bad. But Carolyn was with him, she states, the weekend of, and said that he is 150% innocent. And from my studies, I don't see how they could have even proved him to be guilty, to be honest with you. Okay. I'm going to go on the TikTok. I'm going to pull this up. I was there. I know he is innocent. Carolyn says she knows Memo. So I'm going to start playing it, but I've got to push pause. This computer gives me a bit. I'm going to pause this. This is something that was on the news, and it has recently been deleted, or you cannot find it now. So someone sent me this, and we are going to play it. It is someone recording this. And I want y'all to hear this about the medical examiner. We are going to push play.
That he was under investigation for
No.
anything?
No, I don't recall having that knowledge.
It turns out Dr. Harlan had already been under investigation for incompetence for years by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. But no one told James Sutton or his attorneys. As for the judge,
Did you know that he was under investigation, Dr. Harlan?
I'm not real sure he was under investigation at that time. So I'd have to say, no, I didn't.
It turns out Dr. Harlan had been under investigation since 1996.
Okay. You asked me a moment ago, did I know he'd been under investigation? I don't think I did at that time. No, I may have.
now with Suttle's exoneration, long simmering rumors about Harlan and botched autopsies have reached a boiling point.
Allegations of improper conduct could cost Dr. Harlan his medical license.
He's brought up on charges of gross negligence by the Tennessee Medical Board.
Dr. Harlan faces 27 allegations of unprofessional conduct, fraud, and negligence.
There were 20 some odd cases.
Bob O'Connell was the prosecutor in the hearing against Dr. Harlan.
It was tough to go through some of those things. It was tough as an attorney and as a human being for me to look at the pictures and to think about what happened.
Among the unbelievable charges, Dr. Harlan identified a dead body as belonging to this man, escaped convict Bruce Allen Littleton. 2 years later, Littleton was arrested, very much alive. Harlan said these two children died of SIDS, but both were later found to have been murdered by a parent. He said this child died of natural causes. The 10-year-old was emaciated and weighed only 18 pounds at death.
How you can draw the conclusion that this child had not been neglected is unfathomable to me.
During an autopsy in an important murder case, Harlan allowed his pet dog access to the autopsy room with devastating results.
It was apparent at some point that the dog apparently consumed some of the remains of human beings.
What organs did this dog?
Yeah, stop.
Hang on just a second, guys. Hang on.
Proximity News Dennis Ferrier has been investigating this situation for months.
The case against Gary Sutton was never strong. There isn't even a motive. But now, 31 years later, the case is even weaker, thanks to the love of a woman and the work of a private detective.
Okay, sorry. I had to go check on my little one. Let me remove this. Yes, it is definitely mind-blowing. We're going to do a 2-part series. So I'm going to try to pull up the next one for you guys. This is, that was number 2. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Number 3. Trying to check on my little one that's asleep and do this. So let me go to number 3. I'm gonna open that up and come back to you all. I'm gonna add to stage. Well, hang on. Sorry, it's not one to work for me. I don't know what's going on with this internet. Let's see here. It's wanting to work, then it don't want to work. Telling y'all. Let's see here. Okay. Can y'all hear me? I don't know what's trying to play here. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to number 3. Okay. Now maybe I can get it to work, guys. Sorry, Carolyn. I'm trying to do this, and my computer does not want to cooperate. Okay, let's see here. This is more about the medical examiner, guys. Trying to pull up share screen. Let's go to the next video. I don't know what's going on. Hang on, guys. is not one to share. Doing better than I can. I am trying. It says your browser has blocked your screen. Wondering if it's because of TikTok. Let's see. Let's see. I want to get this out there, and everything is trying to fight against me. I'm telling you. Telling me to log in, and I don't need to log in. So let's see if we can get this. I have to share the screen every time. Are y'all seeing that? No. Okay, this is part 1 right here. Now, I got it, I think. This is the one I need. I'm going to remove that one. We're going to add another one to the stage. I'm telling you, this don't want to work with me at all. TikTok. Okay, this is the one I want y'all to see.
Autopsies that you performed?
Many thousands. The most I did in one day was 10.
In one day?
In one day.
There's no reason to believe that somebody who's capable of these acts that are clearly negligent isn't capable of more of them. We should insist that there be independent audits of these kinds of errors and that people go back, and if they need to, they look at all of the cases.
But Dr. Harlan had been testifying for 30 years. How many other mistakes had he made? James Sutton is convinced that there are still men in prison today who were wrongfully convicted based on Harlan's evidence.
But I mean, if you look at the odds and the probabilities, it's pretty hard to say that there's not somebody else that was in my same shoes that wasn't as fortunate as I was.
Might there be other men, women in prison sent there because of these types of erroneous?
Oh, unfortunately, yes.
And 2020 may have found 2 of them. James Dellinger and Gary Sutton are on death row right now, based in part on Dr. Harlan's testimony. Could these men win a new trial? And will Dr. Harlan respond to the charges?
Dr. Harlan, these men were on trial for their lives. There was no evidence, no motive, no murder weapon, no eyewitnesses. And yet you felt comfortable testifying to something that goes against medical literature.
When 2020 returns.
It's credit to channel to 2020. We're going to put that. Credit to 2020. And then we are going to go on the other. I'm going to delete that one. And we're going to share more. But guys, this is insane. This is insane. When Carolyn came to me, I told her I wanted to study the case, which I've not had a whole lot of time to study. But from what I have, this is insane to me that they can convict somebody to put them on death row. And the medical examiner being charged and not being correct on what he said, allegedly. So let's see. Let's see if I can find this other. I'm going to mute you guys for just a second. Okay. My family likes to roam around at night. So let's see. And how many more? Yeah, Mama, I know. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So let me go search in my mail, which for some reason keeps disappearing. And I'm gonna try to pull up part 4 for you guys and pause it and then share the screen. Telling you all my secrets, a very little thing I've got to do, but it is what I have to do. Sorry that I'm all over the place all the time. But this case is insane. Okay, let's share this. Let's push play and let me.
6. Police say they killed their friend Tommy Griffin here at the swimming hole with a shotgun back in 1992 after bailing him out of jail on a Friday night.
Why would they bail him out of jail and then kill him?
That was a question we asked.
Former defense lawyers F.D. Gibson and Eugene Dixon said their clients had been in trouble with the law before.
James Dellinger, your client, he wasn't an angel.
Oh, no.
Capable of murder?
When you look at his history, he was a roughneck, but crimes of violence were not in his background. And they weren't in the background of Gary Sutton either.
Like the case of James Sutton, the evidence against Dellinger and Sutton was almost entirely circumstantial.
Was there any evidence tying Mr. Sutton to this murder?
There's no physical evidence. There's no fingerprints. They found no ballistics.
No gun, no weapon.
No weapon?
No witnesses.
No witnesses.
No motive.
No motive.
As a matter of fact, that was one of our strong arguments. Mr. Sutton had no motive because this Mr. Griffin and he were like brothers.
And like the case of James Sutton, everything hinged on the time of death.
The prosecution's case depended on this murder occurring Friday night.
That's correct.
If Dellinger and Sutton were responsible, the only time they could have killed Griffin was right after they bailed him out of jail Friday night.
They had alibis the next day, the day before that. People had seen them.
But defense lawyers saw an apparent problem with the state's theory. When the body was discovered 3 days later, the wound seemed fresh, according to first responders.
And in the crime scene photos, you still see the blood, red and fresh.
The body would dead 3 days, it'd be dried up and, caked.
Even more puzzling, when the body was discovered, according to EMS workers, it was still in full rigor mortis.
They got picked up, they said he was so stiff they couldn't get him in the ambulance.
Rigor mortis is a stiffening of the body that begins after death and then gradually goes away. Forensic
Trigger warning,
expert Bill
guys.
Bass explains.
It runs for, 24 hours, maybe 18 hours, something like that. And then it begins to fade away, to dissipate.
The body relaxes.
The body relaxes, that's right.
For the defense lawyers, the fact that Griffin was still in full rigor mortis 3 days after he was supposedly killed completely exonerated their clients.
They said he was so stiff that they didn't get him on a stretcher.
A forensic expert for the defense testified there was no way Griffin was killed on Friday because rigor mortis should be completely gone 36 hours after death. When the defense rested, the attorneys were pretty confident.
So you thought you had...
Okay, so we'll go to part 5. I can find it in my email and let you guys see part 5. There's like 7, 8 of them, but I want you guys to see this. Let's see, we are gonna pause that. Stopping me for some reason. Okay, there we go. Let's play.
Night, according to defense lawyers, the prosecutors renewed a previous offer, a reduced sentence in exchange for a guilty plea.
The prosecution offered you a plea deal.
Yeah, they did.
And even though your clients were facing the death penalty, they wouldn't take that plea deal.
No, they wouldn't.
Why not?
Said they didn't do it.
But then, the next day, an unexpected figure on the witness stand.
Along comes a surprise witness.
Along comes Dr. Harlan Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
Dr. Harlan told jurors the defense expert was wrong. He said full rigor mortis can last 3 days, and that the blood on a body 3 days old can still be bright red and wet to the touch.
You were blindsided.
We were blindsided.
At the heart of Dr. Harlan's testimony was this claim that rigor mortis lasts 72 hours.
Right, and the two experts disagreed.
You feel that it contradicted all known science.
Subsequent investigation shows that it was basically hogwash.
But that day in 1996, the two public defenders had no time and no money to hire a rebuttal witness. They could only watch helplessly as judge and jury sentenced their clients to death.
When you hear the jury's verdict, guilty, how did you feel?
I was looking for a hole to get into and bury myself.
But what about Dr. Harlan's history of botched cases?
He was under investigation at the time by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for incompetence. Did you know that?
No, we did not know that.
Should they have told you?
Under the laws, they should have told us. Because they're presenting this man as an expert witness. And if he is under investigation and has in fact been fired for incompetence, that would certainly undermine his credibility.
The district attorney in the case denies that he knew.
How would you describe Charles Harlan today?
A hired gun. He testifies for whoever pays him.
Should Mr. Sutton be put to death?
No, not my opinion.
Why not?
I don't think he did it.
When we come back, we ask Charles Harlan what he was thinking. Could he have helped send innocent men to death row? And what about all those bodies? When 2020 returns.
Oh. Hey, Mama, good to see you back. So, y'all heard Mr. Dr. Was that Dr. Bass right there speaking, Carolyn? Say, in his opinion, that he didn't see, or that may have been an attorney, I'm not sure, did not see any reason for him to be on death row. It was. Okay, so it's Dr. Bass from UT Body Farm. Okay. We will try. I'm sorry, my Tommy's cat came in and he likes to talk, guys. If you can't hear him, sorry. Let's see if I can pull up number 6. My email keeps disappearing and that's okay. Let's see. Video number 6. He's saying hello, everybody. Yep, he says hello. It was also Gary's lawyer, F.D. Gibson. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, let's see. Number 6. Let's see if I got the right one pulled up. It is not want to work. Let's see. Yes, this is part 6. Okay.
2 men on death row since 1996.
This February will be 18 years.
Their families still hoping against hope that what they think is a wrong might be righted.
We all believe that. Yes.
Their husbands and loved ones put on death row in good part by the testimony of one man, Dr. Harlan. Could his testimony have been wrong?
Is he a competent expert?
If you'd asked me back yonder in 1996, I would say, I don't know, he's a chief medical examiner. Now I think he's a blight on the medical profession.
Charles Harlan, now stripped of his medical license, lives in Arkansas, where he says he coaches Little League Baseball. We decided it was time to confront him about the serious charges made against him.
Dr. Harlan, these men were on trial for their lives. There was no evidence, no motive, no murder weapon, no eyewitnesses. It all depended on what you said.
I don't recall the case at all.
You don't remember? It was a big deal.
I don't remember.
Dr. Harlan didn't seem to remember a lot of things during this interview.
You had also been barred from the crime lab,
That's
the
insane.
TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
I'm not aware of that.
We have a copy saying that you were barred from the lab. And Dr. George Nichols, you know that name?
I do.
Chief Medical Examiner for the state of Kentucky, warned that if your work continued with your line of what he called irrational thinking, then, in the words of Dr. Nichols, God help you and the rest of the citizens of the state of Tennessee.
I'm unaware of that.
And though he says he doesn't remember the case of Dellinger and Sutton, Charles Harlan still maintains his testimony in the case was correct.
72 hours after a person dies, you could still be in rigor mortis?
That's correct.
You're aware that some of the world's renowned experts say full rigor mortis only lasts 24 to 36 hours.
It depends on which references you go to.
Last month, 3 different experts testified that Dr. Harlan's testimony about rigor mortis in this case was not medically possible. New lawyers for Sutton and Dellinger are currently appealing the death penalty conviction based in good part on questions about Dr. Harlan's testimony that day.
Is it possible? These men are now on death row. Is it possible that you could have made a mistake?
I don't recall anything about the case.
The current medical examiner of Tennessee, Dr. Bruce Levy, defends the reputation of his office, saying rigor mortis can be affected by outside temperatures. He says it remains medically possible that the murder took place.
I'm going to remove that. And guys, I'm going to continue on with this maybe tomorrow night. But what do you guys think about that? Why is this man sitting on death row? Is my question. Why? I know that, I think, Carolyn, you said that he had a chance, or I saw in a video where he had a chance for a retrial at one point, but because his attorneys at the time did not get the paperwork filed in enough time of the deadline, that they knocked that out of the question. If there's anybody out there that could help this man, an attorney that someone knows, or, anyone, I am correct, good. I want to be correct on everything I say. But if there's some way, they have tried to go to the Capitol. They have tried to address, I think, Governor Bill Lee, I believe, on this, if I'm correct. Also, Carolyn, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And still, he's on death row, guys. For what reason? You guys do your research. I don't want to change your mind or steer you any way. But look up this case, guys. Research it. I think it needs to be out there. I know I'm a small channel, but maybe some of the bigger channels can get a hold of this, and let's get some attention to it. I really think it needs attention. But guys, I'm going to get off here. We'll continue to part 6, 7, and 8. Well, 7 and 8, I think it is, next time. And I'm going to get off here and go to bed and see you guys another time. I love you. Thank you so much for coming in and seeing me. I miss my true crime people when I am gone and not on here. And I want to get on here more often. Maybe after the children get back in school, it'll be more scheduled. I know I'm just sporadic. I'm sorry about that. But guys, thank you so much. And I would appreciate if you'd hit the like and share button and subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a good night, and God bless y'all.